a good way of thinking about a blog is it's a person's attention expressed over time on the internet. So it's a person writing a daily journal that is, their thoughts, what they're doing, what they're thinking, who they care about, things that they want to talk about, products they like, companies they hate, teams that they love, people that they love. Sharing is what it's all about. A blog is a public email to the world. Because in fact the tools are very similar. So you can write something in a blog editor which looks just like you're writing an email. The only difference is that instead of hitting send and your email goes out just to that one friend of yours or just a group of people that you're writing to, it gets published on the web and it's available for anyone to see and to subscribe to, so that people can now all of a sudden begin a relationship with you, so that as you write things, they can actually be informed when you write. I'm not sure about competitive, although certainly there are areas where bloggers are attempting to compete with mainstream media. I personally look at it as a much more symbiotic relationship. What's happening is that the media is becoming even more democratized. The amount of money that it takes for a person to be able to become a publisher and be able to continue to do it on the internet has now essentially become zero. And so the only thing that's difficult now is, are you a brilliant writer? Do you have interesting ideas? And now you can use other types of media as well, so video blogs and podcasts of audio programs that you can create. So in effect, where we used to have freedom of the press as long as you were able to afford one, now anyone can afford one. And that means that literally millions of people around the world are able to get their thoughts out and express it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be out there trying to change the world or compete with mainstream media. In some cases, it's simply just getting your passions out and finding people of like mind. And having that ability to communicate with literally millions of other people over the internet in such an inexpensive way is fundamentally democratic, and it's also quite revolutionary. So what that means is, it used to be that if we watched something on television or we read something in the newspaper, the only recourse we had would be to yell at our television set, "Ah, they're wrong," or "Boy, that article was all wrong." You would write a letter to the editor, and if you were lucky, maybe 6 letters a day would get published in the newspaper. And so we as human beings felt powerless. And I think the interesting thing that blogs give us is a rebirth in civics. And so, just like the Colosseum behind me, and this is why it's such a wonderful place to be talking here, that, a place where democracy was created here in Rome and thrived, in Greece and in Rome and, these wonderful places, that I think we're starting to see a rebirth in civics as well around the world. Where people no longer have to feel powerless that they're only yelling back at their television set, but now that they can sit down and they can blog about it, they can write about it, and they can reach other people who feel the same way as they do. And that's fundamentally political, and that's fundamentally powerful.